Welcome back, all you Ice GT gamers. This is Ice GT coming to you live from Southern California. My voice is still very obviously in the road to recovery from man flu. Low and raspy is the way to go. But thank you all for the well wishes. I saw them all in the comments from the last video, and I appreciate them. I hope to be over this very soon, but yeah, historically I'm usually out for like 3 weeks with man flu. So we'll see how long it takes for my voice to recover. In today's Anthem video, we've got highlights from today's Anthem Developer Livestream, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. The livestream today was the first time that we got a chance to see a full team of 4 Javelins working together, and by community vote was given to us from the perspective of the Ranger Javelin being piloted by our beloved Ben Irvin. This is also the first gameplay we've seen with keyboard and mouse controls, and it is very obvious that they put a lot of work into the controls since the closed alpha, and it was good news for PC gamers all around. Now, the mouse sensitivities that you'll need to be using when you play the game live are going to need to be tweaked and played around with to your personal preference. Even Ben Irving wasn't using the controls set to the default settings, but I'm sure that once you've got them dialed in, you'll be able to control your Javelin just as easily as Ben made it look. There were times during the stream that I even forgot he was using keyboard and mouse because of how his Javelin moved so similarly to controller gameplay that we've seen in previous live streams. The next topic is the equipment that Ben's Javelin is running. It's the first time we got a chance to see the Sticky Bomb, and the Spark Beam, which was a community request in particular, as well as the Rally Point support gear, which creates a sphere that increases weapon damage by 20% for everyone who stands within its radius. As far as weapons are concerned, he was running a heavy pistol, which trades a slower rate of fire than the machine pistols we've seen in the past for a higher per shot damage, and apparently boasts a higher weak point damage multiplier than other weapon types. So it's your hand cannon type of weapon. And in the secondary slot, he was running a double shot shotgun, which trades a lower clip capacity for higher burst damage, as every single time you pull the trigger, you're firing 2 shells instead of just 1. The quality of the gear was a mix of epic, rare, and a few masterwork items thrown in amongst all of the 4 team members, and was mentioned that this is comparable with pilots that are midway through the end game content. The gameplay in particular that they chose to show us this time around was some of the end game content called Legendary Contracts, set on the Master, aka Hard, difficulty level. For those of you who haven't been following up on all the developer coverage, contracts are the missions that you'll be given from each representative of the various factions from within Fort Tarsus. These are called agents. Once you've completed the primary storyline of the contracts for a particular agent, and you've reached max pilot level 30, you'll be given the opportunity to take these legendary contracts. The differences being that the difficulty of the tasks in particular that you're sent to complete will be more challenging, the mobs will be of a higher ranking, i.e. you'll be facing more elites, and the loot drops will have a much better chance of being a higher rarity. Now, during the stream, Ben was able to pick up a number of rare and epic items, as well as a single masterwork item for his wrist equipment slot. As we've seen in previous streams, he wasn't able to find out what the item was until the expedition was over, so the reveal at the end was actually pretty exciting to watch, even though I wasn't the one playing. And while we didn't get a chance to see what the unique perk was for that masterwork item during the reveal, the most important thing to note is the strength of the inscriptions on the item. The item had a 20% bonus to shotgun damage and an increase in the ammo capacity for all weapons equipped of 21%. That is huge. And that is just one of the 3 gear items that each Javelin can equip. Can you imagine an entire loadout of legendary and masterwork quality items, and the bonus stacking that would be possible for that ultimate build? As I mentioned in a previous video, these stacked effects will be essential to your squad being able to take on contracts and strongholds on the even higher difficulty levels. those being Grandmaster 1, 2, 3 respectively. Given that there were a number of deaths happening in the stream, and this is just on the Master difficulty, I can only imagine what kind of gear and coordination a team would need to have to complete something more challenging. Next thing of note to highlight is environmental effects. This legendary contract mission took place during a thunderstorm, and as such, their Javelins being in the rain allowed them to constantly be in the state called cooled, which allowed them all increased flight time as their jets took longer to heat up during flight. In addition, there were random lightning strikes that would temporarily stun the Javelins if they were hit by one. This being one of the many environmental effects I'm sure they've got planned for once we go into the live game, I can only imagine the fun that we're going to have. Couple that with world events such as Shaper Storms, and the environment is shaping up, no pun intended, to be one of the more interesting things to have to deal with in the world of Anthem. The final thing I wanted to highlight in today's video was the updated squad status indicator in the upper left. It now not only shows your team's shield and armor status, but also shows you the range and distance indicator to the left of that. There's a white cone that will appear showing the direction that your team member is away from you, and the size of the cone represents the distance. When it's super narrow, representing a long distance, they put an arrow at the end. A narrower cone represents the team member being at a moderate distance away. A wide cone represents them being at a close distance, and no cone, i.e. a circle, this represents the team member being in your immediate proximity. I'd love to talk about more, but I think my voice has done all that it can do. I'm sure you can tell the difference even just from the start of the video to now. So I'm going to wrap it up and say, if you like this content and want to see more of it on my channel, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. If you dislike this content and you want to see me die of man flu, feel free to dislike down below. Please leave a comment, positive or negative. I love hearing your feedback. I try to respond to every single one of the comments. They really make my day. And as always, this is IceGT signing off. Have a great night.